Welcome back. Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook. Today, onion sandwich. Have you ever had one? Well, I've had lots in my life. Growing up on the farm, and we raised onions too many. I literally hated hoeing those things and keeping the weeds out. Now I wish I could go back and do that, of course. But we'd be working the fields. My mother would bring us lunch, and we had a cattle ranch. Every once in a while we would have hamburgers out of it that, Dad didn't get one cut up and bring it home. As long as I was at home, and maybe until I was after school, I never seen a steak, no T-bones, no prime rib. Oh, Mother cooked some roast. It was either roast or ground meat. They wasn't paying for no frou-frou stuff like a steak, even though they would go out and eat steak sometime. But anyway, so at our lunches sometimes we didn't have meat. If it wasn't bologna, and if it was the wrong time of the month, that was it. There was no meat on your sandwich, so we ate onion sandwiches. We always raised sweet onions, and so that's what I'm going to do today. I actually took time to look it up on the internet. I thought, is there anybody that eats sweet? And it's like there's a famous recipe from Pepin put on there, and I forget the guy that made it famous in the 50s, and we were already eating it, but it's a no frou-frou like theirs is. Let me show you something here. They would take theirs and they would stamp out the center and cut all the way around it. They have this little round sandwich and put mayonnaise and the onion on it on both sides, a little salt and pepper. Then once the two rings were together, the two circles were together, then they put mayonnaise all over the outside, and then they put chopped rolled and chopped parsley, and that was onion sandwich. It was actually made famous by David Beard. And anyway, I can tell you, if I'd have grabbed a glass or a knife and started cutting a crust off of a piece of bread, yeah, my dad would have had a talk with me. Like, do you realize how much that bread costs and how many steers we had to raise and how many acres we had to plow? And I knew how many we were plowing because I was right along. 10 years old, I was running a tractor, an old Avery, hand-cranked Avery. It was a smaller tractor, and Dad was running at that time an H Farmall. It was a big old monster of a tractor. It didn't go very fast, but it would pull pretty good. So the next tractor he had was a Case, and it was pretty good size. It was a modern one. It was like 1950 something. So that was an up step for us in the early 60s, getting this new Case. And he wouldn't have bought it except the old farmer blew a rod right in the middle of the field one night, and I hated it because we were right in the middle of. We had it's called a drill. It's an implement that you put on the back. If you've never farmed or planted, you're going to think, what's a drill? Well, it's just a big box on wheels, and it's got these little blades and a chute, and you set it for different size seeds, and you plant them so many inches apart, and it's adjustable. Well, this was the one for horses. It was a horse-drawn one, and Dad had converted it to a tractor, and my job was, and it had a seat on the back, so if you were running, a team of horses in front, and it had two handbrakes. My job was I had a big stick, and lift those up every once in a while and make sure the seed was going out, and take the stick and stick it in the seeds, whether it was oats or maize or corn or whatever we were planting. And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't see by the end of the day. But one faithful night, and it was on a school night, I remember like it was yesterday, we were out there drilling in some oats, and we had about 3 bags to go, and that old tractor gave it up right in the middle of the field. I mean, just clonk, that was it. And Dad knew it had already been making rattling noise, and so we took that drill off and chained it to the back of our old 58 Chevrolet pickup, loaded that drill down with oats again, put me on the back of it, and we finished seeding that field with a 58 Chevrolet pickup and an old John Deere drill that was probably made in the early 1900s. I don't even know when it was made. There wasn't much writing. It was all rust. But we got her in, and because it was supposed to be raining the next couple of days, so we had to get it in. I mean, It was one of those things you couldn't put it off. So anyway, we'd go to the field, we'd be working, and Mother would bring us sandwiches. Because I got news for you, we didn't take an hour break or anything like that. Long enough to drink some cold water, eat a sandwich, leftovers, whatever Mother might have. But a lot of times she would bring us an onion sandwich. So I'm going to show you how I grew up eating onion sandwich, and another way, and I'm sure everybody does this. So let me get the camera down here. Put Miracle Whip. Mother used this regular mayonnaise. I don't have regular mayonnaise. We eat Miracle Whip. You put it on both sides of the bread. Just coat it, you know, just decent. It's not like it's laying off the sides or anything. And the reason so, this is a bed to hold some other stuff on. Not a lot goes on this sandwich, but it sure is good. All right. And then we would take our pepper and pepper the bread where the mayonnaise is. That holds everything in place. You can little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. And then we'd take and put salt on it. We use Himalayan pink salt. It's got some stuff that I don't need in my heart diet, so it's out of there, so I'll get to use it just a little bit, not a lot. All right, so just go load this down with some, let me slice these in two here. I've already got my onions out, sliced up. I had them in the fridge, nice and cold, and these are really sweet. Got a great crunch to them. So just load your onions on there. Let me know if you've ever had an onion sandwich. Let me know if you were raised on a farm or a ranch. And I don't know what to even call our place, because we raised horses and cattle. We had about 2,000 acres, but we also raised feed. And we had a truck garden that varied from year to year. It could be a couple of acres to 10 acres. Just depends on the year and what we were going to raise. So that's the finished product with there, just to put the bread on it. Now, if you want to get fancy, we always use rat cheese, you know, cheddar cheese. We grew up calling it, I don't know why they called it rat cheese, but that's what they call it. And you can put your rat cheese on it, or cheddar, whichever you prefer. And my bread is tore here a little bit. But I ain't going to waste it. I want my dad looking at me and say, boy, what are you doing wasting that? So let me get a bite of this, kind of smush it down. And like I say, if you were doing the fancy sandwich, you take it, cut the edges off of it into a circle, put mayonnaise all on the outside of it, and put chives or parsley or whatever. I ain't no foo-foo. I just know this tastes good. And we were eating this before, I think, James Beard and all them. I think my dad ate this when he was a kid, so that would have been in the 30s and 40s. So anyway, let me get a bite of this for you. It's my dinner tonight. That's good, boys and girls. Talk with my mouth full. That's very good. There's something else there. When we weren't eating sandwiches and we were eating just, you know, a meal with onions, it was always this. And I'm sure my blood pressure was saying, no, no. But I'm just going to do this for filming purposes. Dip it in the salt. That's so good. I got to go back for another one. It's so good. My uncle that lives in, he's in LA now, but he's from up in the Delta, about 100 miles south of Memphis in Mississippi. And he was a farmer there. I used to call him Mississippi Mud Farmer because a lot of times it'd be wet and he couldn't get in the fields. So that name is retained to him, and he sends me stuff in the mail, and he sent me a deal the other day. I hadn't got a chance to read it. It's about blueberries and blueberry barbecue sauce, and I'm going to try to make that for him. Anyway, he told me that when he was a kid, so you know, this is in the 40s before David Beard and all these other people were making this sandwich. Him and his buddies be there on the farm. He farmed the place that his parents, you know, ran. They'd go in the house, and if his mother had some biscuits, which he said she always had some leftover biscuits in the stove, you'd get them a piece of biscuit, cut it open, and there was always onions sliced up in their fridge, and just put it on a biscuit. And he said, you know, that was a great snack. So I guess you gotta love onions. And if I had a biscuit, I would show you. I've never tried that, but it's got to be good. It's no different than this, just a little bit different texture. So, like I said, this is going to be my dinner. So what's an old country boy have for dinner? I'm going to show you what we had growing up. Mother would bring this out to us. Yeah, there it is. Bandicap pork and beans. I just opened this can. So, do y'all ever eat pork and beans? It's a staple. It's good for you. You know, get a bite here. It goes great with this sandwich. I'm telling you. Get another bite here. I don't want to make sure my tongue's not lying to me. No, that's some good eating. Oh yeah, got one other thing to complete my dinner. Let me get some ice cubes out here. Fix my drink in a jelly jar. Oh yeah, what goes with this? Southern sweet tea. I made this morning. I've been craving it all day. And what better to pour it into? A jelly jar with a handle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm so ready to get into this food. I forgot I sliced up some lemons. Let's see how this is with this sandwich. Oh Lord. All right, let's see how this goes with this sandwich. Oh goodness, that's good. Yeah. All of this is great memories for me. I use the same tea, Lipton. Same Bandicap pork and beans. I guess they're a little different than they used to be. And yeah, I did take a bite out of the can. My wife's not even going to eat these. I love them. And when we were on the farm, that's all we did. Mother would bring a big old can opener, you know, a hand one. We'd open those a couple of cans of beans, and it was shared around. The meal was just to give us some more juice to go. It wasn't to relax and talk and socialize. It never was. So anyway, let me know if you've ever had an onion sandwich, and if you've ever raised onions. And what kind did you raise? You raised sweet onions, yellow onions, Spanish onions. There's a bunch of different varieties. I even heard one the other day. It's called strawberry onions, and it's the onions they plant in between the strawberry fields. They plant a strawberry roll of onions, and they say it keeps the pest out. And they also say that the onion tastes different. I don't know, never had one. But so anyway, thanks for joining me for my dinner, a real old country boy dinner. And we'll see y'all on the next trip. The end.